What is up, guys? Anthony here, back with another Destiny Child video here on the channel. And in today's video, everyone, we are going to be overviewing the upcoming event here on Destiny Child Global, which will be introduced after the World Boss Trial Wyatt event. So of course, we are still going through the World Boss event, but I did want to preview the upcoming event for you all to know what to expect with the upcoming narrative dungeon. As you all could see, we do have the Lisa's upcoming schedule calendar here on the screen right now. And there it is. We do have the next event here being a narrative dungeon, which will begin after the May 12th end date of the World Boss Trial event. And we do have the narrative dungeon featuring Artemisia and Driades. So there it is. And you can also see we do have a side event here being the Stamina Party, as well as the Devil Rumble Challenge events here. After this event, we will have the Wounded Winter Part 3 events here as well, introducing the boss of a new water Kubaba, and we will discuss this upcoming Ragnarok event in a later video as well. But as you guys had probably seen already, Artemisia and Driades are already showcased in the Child Archive in-game, but let's preview the narrative dungeon event in a whole on the Destiny Child Japan blog, and then we'll dive into the new units and their animations, as well as their skill set here on the global archive. All right, everyone, here we are on the Destiny Child Japan blog. I'll be sure to link this narrative dungeon update note in the description box below if you guys would like to check it out on your own time. But here it is, the narrative dungeon update note being La Dolce Vita here for the narrative event title. And we do have Artemisia featured here on the graphic in her After Awakening costume, looking very beautiful. I do love this design for her. And yeah, let's get started here. We do have Artemisia showcased in her Before Awakening costume, looking pretty thick. There she is on screen, looking nice. I'm sure all of you will love this style of her character. And yeah, next up here, we do have Driades in her Before Awakening costume here as well, looking very amazing. We do have a nice looking elf units there. So there she is. Make sure to let me know what you guys do think of the E-class costumes of Driades as well as Artemisia. Next up here, everyone, we do have the narrative dungeon rewards we could tend to expect for the upcoming event. Of course, for the global version, we do tend to receive a child on the 7th grid, so this will be changed. The 7th grid will have one of the two units here. I'm not sure. They'll probably give us Artemisia here through the narrative dungeon event, and then we'll have to summon Driades. But for the remainder of the rewards, of course, we will have the standard of the new equipment set, as well as the 5-star summoning ticket, the Prism Soul Credit ticket, etc. So overall, decent rewards there. As for the gear equipment, we do have the stats here. I don't think they will top the current top tier gear, but overall some new equips if you guys are lacking in the equipment department. Next up here, everyone, we do have the Hot Spring costume of Artemisia. There it is on screen in its 2D format. We'll be sure to check out the animation later on the live 2D viewer. As for the boost childs of the events, everyone, of course, we do have the boost being Artemisia as well as Driades, as well as a 4-star unit here, but the global version does not use the 4-star units boost, so you will have to resort to the boost of Driades as well as Artemisia. As for the boost scaling, of course, there is the scaling 60% at +0 and 120% at +6. As for the banners, we will expect to arrive with the upcoming event, everyone. Of course, a guaranteed upon summoning for Driades as well as Artemisia. There is Driades on the screen, being a dark type healer, of course, and we do have Artemisia being a fire type supporter. All right, everyone, first up here, we do have Artemisia in her human costume. So there she is on screen, looking pretty cute in the human costume. Next up here, we do have Artemisia in her E-class costume. So of course, Before Awakening. As you can see, the change there from the human costume, she does look pretty nice here. I do love this E-class. and let's check out the S class. And as for the S class costume, there it is on screen, everyone. I'm not sure if they'll allow this on the global version, but hopefully they don't tend to censor this costume. But there is the S class for Artemisia. As for Driades, there is the human costume, looking very nice. I do love the theme of the human costumes for these two new units. Next up here, we do have Driades in their Before Awakening costume, looking very nice here. The elf theme is very beautiful. And for the After Awakening costume, there is Driades as well with the ball and chain here. We do have some nice details here with the After Awakening of Driades. I do love the shading a ton here. A very beautiful costume here for Driades. And next up here, we do have a costume actually for Driades as well, looking very similar to Citri, but there is the costume for Driades. I do believe that this will be a paid costume for the Lanfei shop if you guys would like to purchase it when the event does launch. As for the hot spring costume of Driades, there it is on screen, looking very nice. And as for Artemisia, last but not least here, we do have the hot spring costume for her as well. All right, everyone, so here we are in game. Let's check out the skill set and the drive skill animations for the two upcoming units here. First up, we do have Commander Fire type supporter Artemisia. There she is on screen in the child archive of the global version. As for the skill set here, we do have the translations, of course, as they are ported in game already. For the tap skill here, we do have deal 396 damage to one enemy, lowest HP, inflict bleed 100 damage over time every 2 seconds for 12 seconds. In PvP, grant skill gauge charge speed plus 45% for 2 fire type allies for 16 seconds long. As for the slide skill here, Blazing Fortress, deal 733 damage to 2 enemies, priority bleeding, 56% chance to grant immortal, HP cannot drop below 1 for 14 seconds, and skill cooldown minus 2 seconds for 2 turns to 3 fire type allies except self. As for the drive skill here, we do have Commander's Claw, deal 1887 damage to 3 enemies, priority bleeding, bleed 300 damage over time every 2 seconds for 14 seconds, and grants frenzy attack plus 50% and invincible, but on dissipation has a 100% chance to stun for 5 seconds to 3 allies with the debuffs for 8 seconds long. As for the leader buff here, skill gauge charge speed plus 18% for fire type allies. In PvP, skill cooldown minus 1. Now overall, Artemisia does seem pretty strong in pair with fire type units. As seen in the Devil Rumble currently, we do have a ton of fire type teams floating around in the top 100 as well as the high platinum ranks. So if you guys are running a fire type team here in the Devil Rumble, you will probably want to add her onto your roster. She does have immortality here on the slide, as well as more bleed damage, which is very nice as the meta is surrounded by damage over time currently. As for the slide skill here, though, it's pretty interesting. I do believe she may have a chance in the event side of the game, as she does have here the skill cooldown minus 2 seconds for 2 turns to 3 fire type allies except self. So this may come in handy for the event side of the game as well. So Artemisia does seem to be a pretty good supporter for PvP, most importantly, and she does have a chance to be used in the fire type team events as well, being World Boss and possibly Ragnarok. As for the drive skill here, everyone, let's check it out on screen now, being Commander's Claw. There it is, and overall looking very nice. She does swipe at us there, and I do love when they do showcase the units in the drive skill animation. So make sure to let me know in the comments section below what you do think of Artemisia. Next up here, everyone, but not least here, we do have here the Carefree Fairy Driades, the dark type healer here in the archive. As for the skill set, let's check it out here. We do have the tap skill here, a Lazy Afternoon, deal 342 damage, grant invincible, ignore all attacks and debuffs to 1 attacker ally for 3 seconds. As for the slide skill here, snacking on chips, regen 192 HP, once per 2 seconds for 2 allies, lowest HP for 14 seconds, and a 70% chance to nullify disable debuffs for 3 dark type allies, priority attack for 14 seconds long. For the drive skill here, I'm not doing chores, revive 1 dead dark type ally with 20% of HP and grant invincible, ignore all attacks and debuffs, removed after 16 seconds or when attacked 3 times. And for the leader buff here, we do have grants revitalize, revive only once the first ally to die, and heal 50% HP to all allies except self. Now overall here, I would say Driades is a pretty good healer here for the PvP side of the game, as if you do surround her with the dark type allies here, the slide skill does seem to be pretty decent, as she does have a 70% chance here at the rank 1 skills to disable debuffs to 5 dark type allies, so she may pair very well with units like Clotho, attackers like Ophoes, debuffers like Rhea, etc. So you might have a chance to run her in the Devil Rumble if you do happen to main the monotype dark unit team, but other than that, I don't see her being used too much outside of the PvP side of the game, and she may have a chance as well in Endless Duel if you do run multiple dark type debuffers there as well. As for the drive skill animation here of Driades, let's check it out here. The I'm not doing chores drive skill here, looking very similar to Artemisia's here, showcasing the 2 skins of the units here, being the human and of course the E-class as well. So overall, some nice drive skill animations here coming up with the 2 new units, and make sure to let me know your thoughts on the 2 upcoming narrative dungeon characters in the comments section below. But that'll pretty much do it for today's Destiny Child event preview. Make sure to let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the upcoming units and overall the upcoming narrative dungeon events, as well as all of the live 2D costumes as well, which will be introduced with the upcoming update. But before you go, everyone, make sure to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy today's Destiny Child events preview, and of course, if you haven't yet done so already, make sure to check out the links in the description box below to my Twitch channel so you guys can stay tuned to some Destiny Child live streams, as well as make sure to check out the other links in the description box below to my community Discord server, as well as the link to my Twitter account if you guys would like to stay notified there for some updates on the channel, live streams, etc. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel here if you guys haven't yet done so and are interested in more Destiny Child content to come as always. But with all of that being said, I'll see you all in the next Destiny Child video. As always, thank you all so much for watching.